And you know what? These nice guys are finishing last. What do you think of an overly nice guy?
And overly nice guys aren't really nice guys. They just are being nice to get something out of you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
It's a good take.
Okay.
What do they want?
There are genuinely kind people, and genuinely kind people are kind no matter what. People that complain about nice guys finish last are only being nice because they think they're going to get something out of it.
This guy just complained.
I'm a nice guy.
Okay, hey, so if a guy was hitting on you, have you ever used the response "ew"?
No. I don't think I'm mean enough.
That's. I mean, you need to go home after that. I would assume. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard it done to other people, but
I don't know if I could do it to somebody. I think I'd feel too bad.
yeah.
I'd feel too guilty.
What if it was just an insanely creepy pickup line?
I don't know if what's an insanely creepy pickup
I'm
line?
talking about you as in like they just ask you, hey, what's up? You know?
Yeah, they
probably,
just say hi.
I have a very loud face. So like
What does that mean?
Maybe I haven't said it, but I've probably been like, sorry, no.
Okay.
You know, like you do like the eyebrow furrow a little bit, but I don't think I've ever said it.
Yeah. I had a gal I was seeing one time, and like if I was making a point in an argument, her face would get like this, and I would be like, oh, like I know I'm treading in deep waters, and I would stop after that. Anyway, hey guys, welcome to the Table for One, a podcast. That's what we do. We do a podcast sometimes, and Kirsten Cortez. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on. Do you mind us asking your age?
No, I am 30. Just turned 30.
30. 30 is the new 20.
It really is. It's the best years of your life. They tell you it's 20, it's really 30.
And then 40 is the new 30.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could go all the way.
It only gets better from here.
That's what I think too. Okay, and how long? You've only been in Denver for a little bit here, right?
Yes, so I moved here in late August, kind of on a whim. I was living in Chicago. I had 3 weeks notice. I accepted a job down here in like early August. They said, can you be here by August 24th? And then I moved from Chicago to Denver, packed up my U-Haul and everything.
Okay. But you've done a lot of dating, and we're going to get into that. But first of all, we're going to do a segment right off the bat, guys. We're switching it up. We're going to do a segment right off the bat, everybody.
Okay,
we're going to do a segment. Hey, and this segment is brought to you by our new partnership with Kale at the Dating Collective. And we're just going to roll a little clip for you here. Kale runs a dating collective, the Dating Collective, on TikTok. You've never seen it. You know, we did a whole episode with Kale. You go back, you watch it. You can watch some of his TikToks. It's really good, great, actionable advice. But he just launched the Secure Love Blueprint. You want to know what it is? Well, I'm about to tell you. It's an 8-week high-touch coaching program that helps women stop repeating old relationship patterns and start attracting the kind of love that actually feels mutual and safe. Ever just want to feel safe? I do. If you're done with situationships, breadcrumbing, or wondering if you're asking too much, this is for you. Listeners of this podcast get 15% off when you use the code TABLE15. Know what that is? Table15. Table15 right there. Just visit the link in the description below and book a free call with Kale. And we're back. Okay. This segment is called Love Language Roulette.
Okay.
Okay. So has to do with love languages. And I'm just going to ask you a couple questions and you let me know your thoughts and give us what you think.
Okay.
You can dig deep or you don't have to dig at all. So what's this? Okay. No, I'm not going to ask that one. Describe an act of service that would actually creep you out instead of making you feel cared for.
I feel like right now, everybody tracks locations a lot. Yeah. And so if someone was like, I saw that you were here and like maybe you needed something, like if it involved tracking my location, I think I'd be too freaked out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like people. I try to keep my location off, but every once in a while I turn it back on for friends or something. Yeah. And if someone tried to do something for me that was nice and it involved my location, I would freak out.
I know I can't share my location with my family because my mom will get up in the middle of the night and check where people are.
Oh, my dad used to check mine in high school. Yeah. I got in trouble because I was at a date at a movie theater. And then my dad was like, why are you not back yet? And I was like, the movie just ended. What do you mean?
Yeah. And then also, I just figured out how you can tell when you're not on Instagram anymore. You know how it shows when you're active on Instagram?
With like a green circle?
Yeah, the green circle.
Oh, so that's been off for a long time.
I would be on there at like 5 a.m. and my mom would be like, what are you still doing up? Like she got up and I'd be like, oh fuck, I've been out partying all night.
No, that's been off for a long time.
Yeah. Mom, I'm 28. I can party sometimes. So anyway, yeah. Okay, next question.
Okay.
What's a gift you've received early on in the dating process that was well-intentioned but totally missed the mark? You ever get gifts?
I don't know if I've ever been given a gift.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
I know.
By
I
a
don't know
boyfriend or nothing?
I mean, like maybe like some birthday presents, but it's been a while since I've gotten a gift from anyone.
There's nothing that you've ever been like, oh, this I could tell you tried, but it just wasn't.
I can't think of anything right off the bat.
That's okay. You, Isaac, you get gifts? I guess you got to have a girlfriend first.
Only for my parents.
Oh, sorry. All right, my bad. How would you express quality time if you only had 15 minutes and couldn't use phones?
If I only had 15 minutes and couldn't use phones.
Yeah, quality time.
I think just someone being engaged and talking to me and like wanting to be with me at this.
Yeah.
It's only 15 minutes. You can't do much. So like, you want to hear about my day or something?
I know what this sicko would do for 15 minutes.
15 minutes? A lot.
Oh.
Can fit a lot in 15 minutes.
Okay. What's a small weird gesture someone could do on a date that would instantly make you think like this is a good guy?
So if it doesn't usually happen on first dates because I don't like guys to pick me up on the first date, but on a second date, if a guy actually comes to the door and gets out of his car, it's like a small gesture. A lot of guys don't do that. They just text, "I'm here."
What if you're like in an outdoor complex and they got to walk up like 4 flights of stairs? It's a lot.
I feel like that's still a small gesture.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just get some steps in.
It's true. It's true. Here's another one. What's if you had like a sixth love language, say it was toxic, what would it be?
A toxic love language?
Toxic love language. Or trait, really.
A trait?
You could do either or.
I kind of want someone to be like a little bit obsessed with me.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Feels nice.
It does feel nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you as equally obsessed?
No.
So you like a double texter?
Oh, I love a double texter. That's how I know they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes like if I'm like, I'm too busy to look at this right now, and then they double text, it's like, okay, maybe they are actually interested. I don't have to.
What about a quadruple text?
That might be too much.
Yeah.
Double text is fine, depending on what's going on and what you've been texting about. Triple text, maybe.
Under
Context
certain
matters.
circumstances, yeah.
Context matters, but quadruple text, we might be pushing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about this one here? Made a playlist. Somebody made a playlist as a love gesture. What's the song or the genre that would give you the ick?
Country. I like country about 2 days of the year. Like, I had a big country face in high school. I love country, but if someone put too much country on a playlist, I would just think they didn't know me at all. Because there's like 2 days. It's usually in like July or June. Windows down. Yeah. Maybe on a lake or something or
Feels
on a boat where I'd really like it, but it's not my favorite.
Okay.
We have an incoming question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin. How young would you date, and what is your thoughts on age gaps in dating?
I think it always depends. I would date probably the youngest I would date is probably like 26, maybe 27. So 4 years younger. And I just think there's so much that happens between like college graduation. So like 22, 21-ish, and then 25 when you start to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And like right there on the cusp of 25, 26, 27, you're starting to figure out who you are as an adult. Your frontal lobe is finally like done cooking. So that's probably the youngest. And even then it would probably be on a case-by-case basis. Oldest I would probably go is 37 maybe? I don't know. 37 just sounds right. Okay. Once I start dating men I've talked to men who are significantly older. I shouldn't say significantly, but like 10 years older. And once I get 10 years older, it just starts to feel like too far. Because it's like, why do you want to date someone 10 years younger than you? It's less about them and more about like, why do you want to date someone so much younger than you?
What do you think about Leo?
What?
Leonardo DiCaprio? It's kind of weird when it's like
it's 19. A little weird. I just don't think he ever wants anything serious. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. He just wants to keep it casual, so he keeps dating younger because they understand that it's casual, maybe.
19's weird.
It's
I feel like
weird.
if you're like 40, almost
It's
50. How
weird.
old is he? 50? Almost 50?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Like when I studied abroad in Australia, and I was 20, I think, when I studied abroad. And I dated a guy who was 28. And at the time, it was so fun, loved it. And I look back on that actually very fondly. He was very nice. He was very respectful. But when I turned 28, I could not imagine for a second dating a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
So it was weird to put that in context. And that's kind of where I came up with my, 8 to 10 year
I
age
couldn't
gap.
imagine dating somebody in college right
It's
now.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like being in love with them. That would be weird. No. All right. I'm sorry.
It's weird.
They're
Like, oh, you're
they're
at a
studying
Kager?
for
You're-
finals.
You're at a Kager right now? That's yeah.
Right.
All right. That's yeah.
Like he was 28 and I was like at a bar and they had like a wet t-shirt contest that I was in, and I was like, you want to date a 20-year-old at a wet t-shirt contest as a 20-year-old?
Hell yeah, he does.
It was very nice.
Now I can see that.
It was very fun. It was very fun. It was very fun.
All right, one more from our segment. Which love language makes you cringe when it's overdone? They got like physical touch,
What's
acts
it?
of service.
It's physical touch,
they
quality
get
time. Acts of service.
They got
Words
the
of affirmation.
The other, yeah.
I think words of affirmation is one of my primary ones, but I think if someone tells me too much, I just would start to not believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? What are they affirming?
I don't know. Like if someone says too much about you, it's like, especially right off the bat, kind of like with love bombing, goes hand in hand. If someone's like, you're perfect, you're amazing, you're great. And it's like, you don't even really know me. It would freak me out, I think.
Yeah. Do you agree?
I agree.
Concur. Okay.
Concur.
Hey, you're a hobby lady.
Yeah.
Hobby lobby lady.
Not hobby.
Okay.
But
give us a list of your hobbies.
my hobbies, it's a long list.
Okay.
I sew. I like knitting. Tried crochet once, which I don't know if I'd consider a hobby because I wasn't that good at it and I stopped. I do golf. I like reading. I am very
Do you read smut books?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
I really like thrillers also, which are not really smut, but I like reading in general. So fiction, I have a couple nonfiction books that I really like, but primarily like fiction books, and there's some smut thrown in. Anything crafting, so like painting, if I can make something with my hands, like jewelry making or something. I did pottery for a bit. I wasn't very good at it, so I haven't done it in a while. What else do I do? Ski?
You tried drinking?
Drinking?
It's my hobby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can drink while doing all of these things.
Okay.
It's not like a mutually exclusive thing.
Okay. What's your favorite out of all those?
My favorite?
Huh.
I really like sewing and knitting, probably the
Okay.
most.
Okay. Do you knit your boyfriends or the people you're dating stuff?
I have made one guy that I dated a sweater. And I will not make another guy a sweater until we are engaged or married.
Okay.
Have you heard of the sweater curse?
No.
So it's a thing with knitters, and it's if you make a guy a sweater, if you knit a guy a sweater, that you will break up either right before the sweater is done or right after you give them the sweater. And that's what happened with the last guy.
I think this is like knitting lore.
It is knitting lore.
Okay.
You can look it up on Wikipedia. It's a real thing.
Okay.
On Wikipedia.
So if I want to break up with a gal, I just got to ask her to give me a sweater.
Knit you a sweater, yeah.
knit me
And
a
it'll
sweater.
happen.
Hey, okay, I want to paint a picture for you right now.
Okay.
Golfing is one of your
Hobbies.
say you guy brings you out on a date to go golf, right?
Yeah.
It's a par 5, hits it down the middle. He's got a 3-wood in his hand. He's about 240 out. Okay.
Okay.
And there's people in front of him. They're on the green. He's like, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait because I might get a hold of it. And he makes you wait like an extra 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Duffs it on the spot. Do you break up with him right there?
No,
or do you wait?
No, because that always happens. That would happen to me.
Yeah.
Like,
but first date, you gotta. I mean, if you
it
don't,
is rough. Like when I'm on a dating app, and guys love to show off their swings on dating apps, and I would say most girls don't golf or don't have any knowledge of the golf swing, or maybe they do golf, but like most guys have really horrible golf swings.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not.
They're pretty bad.
It's not great.
They're pretty bad.
Slice McGee over here.
Slice.
Yeah.
Live question from It's JRB.
Okay.
Do green versus blue bubbles play a factor in considering someone from the start?
They didn't used to, but me and my friends have talked about how, in general, we tend not to like guys who use androids because they're like way too into tech. I don't know if that's like just it's like a correlation. It's not a causation, but shouldn't play a factor. But every time I've ended up going on a few dates with a guy who has an android or green text bubbles, it never's worked well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you also teach.
I do teach. Yeah.
So if you, this guy obviously has an Android. Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Okay. I mean, do you think we should bring back like physical contact in the school, like when they're not listening?
No.
Okay, me neither. I was just asking. It was just a question. But like, you remember when they used to be able to hit kids?
Did that happen to you?
No.
My dad got spanked, yeah, and I think it served him well.
Now he's
a smart guy.
Now he's got a spank kink.
You know, things turn out in different ways. I don't know if I'd bring it back.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should, but I thought somebody wrote this. So, do you think? What do you think should like be mandated to be taught in school that's not?
What should be mandated? I'm biased, so I teach accounting, and I think everyone could benefit from an accounting education, and everyone loves to complain like, oh my God, in high school they never taught us taxes or they never taught us how to do our taxes. But we remember like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, or like A squared equals, is it A squared plus B squared equals C squared?
I tried to divide
like
something the other day on paper, and
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. I was like, okay, you ever try to do that anymore? Got a calculator for
Like
that,
long division?
Yeah, long division, like on a piece
Like
of paper.
when you do this thing.
I like got embarrassed and I quit.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think school's just about learning how to take in information and use information.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, when you're in high school, we could add subjects, we could take out subjects, but you're still teaching 13 to 18-year-olds and they don't care what you're teaching about. We could teach taxes in school and they're not going to pay attention.
No. Okay, give us something that should be mandated dating-wise to teach to young adults.
Dating-wise,
Mm-hmm.
I think people forget that everyone has different life experiences than them. And so right now, I think what's happening is we have a lot of women that are pissed off at men and we have a lot of men that are pissed off at women. And like, we kind of forget to think about the other person a lot. And so like, I wish I could just say like, we can teach empathy, but I don't know how you teach empathy to a bunch of people.
That's a good point. Yeah, I feel like there's such a divide today. And
Yeah.
I feel like both, for the most part, both parties aren't even willing to like look into the other's story. You know, what they've been through, their experiences is just, I've experienced this and so have other women and this is my thought process. And
right. Like, and obviously I'm a woman, so I'm biased. So I'm always going to think like when I hear women speak about their problems, I'm like, yeah, our problems are worse. And I've heard some of my guy friends complain about their own problems. And sometimes I hear them and I'm like, yeah, but like the whole society is built under patriarchy. So really, is it your own issue? But at the same time, I still do feel bad for the guys who say things like, I can't share my emotions, or I don't feel comfortable sharing my emotions with the women I date. Like that is a real thing. Mm-hmm. So I do somewhat feel for those people. Sometimes I have to sit back and be like, it's not really my problem right at this exact moment, but I do feel bad for those people. So I think it's just kind of, you have to learn to meet people where they are. And that's not even just a dating thing. That's everybody. You have to learn to meet people where they are. And how do you communicate with this person? If you're here and this person's here, how do you communicate? How do you close this gap? Yeah. And that's true with anything. And I think it's very true in dating, but I think it's true everywhere else too.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're on a date, since you're a teacher and it's going well, do you ever bring out the, meet me after class, mister, like you're gonna get it.
I don't think I'd ever bring it up, but
like,
I mean,
like you're in trouble. Meet me after class. A little. Okay.
I mean, never say never. It hasn't happened yet, but.
All right, that was a good one. your dating life been?
How's my dating life been? Not good. Overall, it's just not good. I think it's hard to meet people. I keep pretty busy and I really like everything that I do, but it's hard to meet people. And I think if you can't get to the first date, you can't get to a second date. And I have hobbies like sewing and knitting. It's not like I'm meeting a ton of guys out there.
Yeah.
In the wild.
That are into that.
Yeah.
Where are you finding these guys?
I've been to like dating events. I've been on apps. I've met some guys through TikTok before. So I've tried a variety of things. Hasn't really panned out, but that's okay, I guess.
You ever try the bar?
Yeah.
That doesn't go well usually.
Yeah, I've met some bartenders, met some people that go to bars. So yeah, I've tried bars.
It doesn't really go too well.
Yeah, hasn't gone well yet.
Okay.
Maybe.
But
I just moved here, so it's not like I know a ton of places to go.
Okay, well, there's a lot of places that you might meet the same people because it's kind of a small little town. Hey,
I've heard that.
Do you fall in love fast?
Do I fall in love fast? I don't think so. I think it's a normal pace. You know, like right around somewhere in the 3 to 6 month mark, depending on how much time you've been spending together. Okay. I feel like that's normal.
When's the last crush you've had?
Last crush I've had? It's probably like last end of 2024. I was like talking to a guy.
How did it go?
How'd it go?
Yeah.
Well, we're not currently talking, so
okay,
not well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the issue? It was just
we just wanted different things, I think. Yeah. So we met at a music festival. I can't really like speak that bad about him. He was a very nice guy, but we just wanted very different things in our lives. So he lived here and I lived in Chicago, and he was kind of part of the reason I started looking for jobs out in Denver, but it wasn't like I was looking for jobs in Denver. I'd wanted to go into teaching for a long time. And so it was part of the reason that I was like, maybe I should check out some Denver schools. And this job ended up being open. So I applied for the job here because of him, but it's also my dream job. So like, I can't be that mad at him at the end of the day.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Hey,
so you said you're on the apps?
Yes.
Okay. Another live question. Do you think technology has helped or hindered dating today?
I think it's made it worse. I think overall that a lot of people will say this, it's not just me, that we think that there's always something better behind the next door. So you're like, oh, I missed my chance at the bar. That's fine. I'll just get on Bumble or I'll get on Hinge tonight. And so I think it's eliminated that feeling like I might never see a person like this again. I have to go talk to her. I have to get this person's number right now. Mm-hmm. And I think when you have all these, and I don't think it's just dating apps. I think it's texting. I think it's email. I think it's social media. When you start losing that skill of how do I talk to another person, you kind of lose the confidence of being able to put yourself out there and be open to rejection. And I think that makes it even worse. And it keeps exacerbating the issue over and over and over again. So I just think we've kind of lost this in-person connection because everyone just wants to connect on an app, or we think like, oh, if this doesn't work out, that's fine. I'll just get on an app. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like as a guy too, like, you know, there's this fear of rejection where if you're rejected behind a screen, so what? But, you know, you don't necessarily have to approach a person face to face. And that's when rejection is scary. And you can just slide in the DMs or like someone and, you know, message them on a dating app.
Do you actually slide in the DMs or you just send like a story like? Is that your like shooting your shot?
I do neither.
I can see it.
No, I do. I've probably slid in the DMs 3 times in my life, so okay. I don't necessarily do that. No, never sober, never.
Okay, it's not you if you know.
Yeah,
he was drunk.
It's Ernst.
Yeah, it's Ernst. That was his drunk name growing up.
That's the one you chose. You had all the options.
Well,
that's what you chose?
We took a German class. That was my German name, and it just kind of translated. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rate Isaac on a scale of like ew to like
yum. Okay, you don't have to do that.
You have a nice smile.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Putting that in the yum category.
Well, I don't like that word.
Yum. I'm not a fan.
Like yeah, stupid question. Stupid question. Who wrote these?
Okay. So you've dated in a lot of cities.
Yes.
How do guys differ, or they're all the same? Just less or more annoying accents, probably.
So actually, I moved a lot when I was growing up,
Mhm.
and my mom. I remember, like, I really distinctly remember this conversation. She was like, "There's shit everywhere. It's just different shit," and I feel that way with dating. It's like every place has its own problems, but it's just a little bit different. So everyone talks, at least I have friends in Denver before I moved here, and everyone talks about the Peter Pan syndrome of all the men in Denver. And I got here and I was like, yeah, okay, like I can kind of see it. Everyone just wants to have a good time and have fun. And I didn't feel that different from being in Scottsdale. So when I was in Scottsdale, I used to
Just
describe
sweatier guys down there.
just sweatier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just really,
really sweaty.
Yeah.
I used to describe Scottsdale as like, if LA is like Coca-Cola, Scottsdale is like the concentrate that you use to make it. You know, have you ever worked at like a restaurant where you had to mix the concentrate with the soda water?
I mean, I have worked at a restaurant, but I never had to do that.
You never had to do that.
Yeah,
I had to do that.
okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
I used to describe it as like the concentrate. So it's just like a little bit more, it's just like more, I guess, than LA. And so that's how I felt about dating in Scottsdale. And then dating in Phoenix, kind of like you had some bleed over from Scottsdale, but dating in Phoenix was a little bit better, even though they're right next to each other. But you had a lot of people that came to Scottsdale and thought that they had a lot of money. And dating in Chicago, I like dating in Chicago. It was fun. Same problems though. You have
Yeah.
people that don't text back.
But they're like they're not different.
Not really.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone thinks it's better or worse in their
Do
city.
they look different? Like there's probably
There's different types in every
Okay.
single place.
Okay.
Yeah. Scottsdale has a lot of the like gym bros. And obviously there are other things too, but Scottsdale has a lot of the gym bros, and here there's a lot of guys that
sweaty,
it's like
sweaty gym bros.
sweaty gym bros. And then in
Quit it.
here there's a lot of guys where it's like you just look like you really like 14ers. And then Chicago had a lot of just like Midwest looking men. They just look nice, clean cut.
Yeah.
I don't know. So they look a little bit different, but the guys, they're all the same
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
They didn't have like a Dub Bears accent and stuff like that.
Not really.
Yeah, okay.
I will say that dating in Chicago, there was that sense of Midwest chivalry that I haven't experienced in Arizona or Colorado.
Okay. Well, I guess it happens. Okay, I guess you can move again, but
I could, but
Yeah.
I'd like to stay in one place a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what? These nice guys are finishing last. What do you think of an overly nice guy?
And overly nice guys aren't really nice guys. They just are being nice to get something out of you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
it's a good take.
Okay.
What do they want?
There are genuinely kind people, and genuinely kind people are kind no matter what. People that complain about nice guys finish last are only being nice because they think they're going to get something out of it.
Okay.
Have you not heard this before?
No, I've never heard that ever.
I feel like
I thought they were just being nice.
No, I feel like guys that are nice regardless. Guys that complain that nice guys finish last, they're not actually nice. They're just being nice because they
This
want
guy
something.
just complained.
I'm a nice guy.
I'm sure you're a nice guy. You seem like a nice guy.
Okay.
You have a
Thank
nice,
you.
What'd you
You
say?
have a nice smile.
Yeah, you got a nice
Thanks.
smile.
Yeah.
Thanks, yeah. Next question.
Did you ever date a non-EDM guy?
Would I date a non-EDM guy? Yeah, I would date a non-EDM
okay.
guy.
Country guy.
It's a hard gap to bridge here.
Yeah,
EDM to country. Although there is, I think they're called MC4D. They opened for two friends, and I'm gonna butcher this name. What is it?
Lazewo?
Lazewo?
Yeah.
They opened for them. They actually kind of make country music into house music, or
Nice.
country and folk music into house music.
You
I
get
could deal
down
with that. I could
You
deal
get
with
down
that.
with that. Hey, why does my back hurt and I sweat profusely at every EDM show I go to?
You're just throwing ass too hard, I guess.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, that guy
Probably.
throws it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Probably
Yeah, I believe it.
No other causes on that probably. But okay, if you could date one DJ, what would it be?
One DJ. It's basic, but I would date I think I'd date Dom Dalla.
Yeah, it's the mustache.
It's the mustache.
God, he's got a good mustache.
He has a good
Yeah.
mustache.
Well, you moved to the right city for guys with mustaches.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Very pleased with my selection here for
Okay,
mustaches.
okay. And he's got that accent, you know.
He does. And I studied abroad in Australia, so I am a bit of a sucker for an Australian accent.
What about Steve Irwin?
Steve Irwin,
Yeah.
the dead one?
Crikey.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Steve Irwin. Robert Irwin is also very attractive. He's just too young.
Oh, yeah, the young kid. How old is he? He's got to be like
He's
20
like-
something now.
He's
no?
like 22.
Oh,
Like he's very young.
he's a handsome bloke.
He's
Did they
very
say bloke there?
handsome.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
very handsome.
yeah,
But
mate.
I mean, John Summit's a close second, but you know, he's from Chicago.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm realistic. Like I think I could actually date John Summit. I don't think I could actually date Tom Dalla.
Yeah, yeah. John Summit kind of looks like he's somehow he's like 30, 38 and somehow 18 at the same time. You know, he's kind of looks young, but like
I see that.
old young. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought of that. But hey, oh, I already asked that question. Give me an unpopular dating opinion.
An unpopular dating opinion. It's an unpopular dating opinion. If you're meeting on an app, I don't think first dates should be an elaborate thing.
Yeah.
I think if you meet on an app, if you connect on an app, your first date should be low pressure. It should be something that like you can leave easily from if you end up not liking each other. So like coffee dates, drinks, and like I love a good fun date, like an activity date or something. But like a lot of guys see that I golf and they want to golf right away, and I'm like, I don't
It's
know
like
if I'm gonna.
18 holes.
I
That's
don't
a
want to
lot.
spend 4 hours
Yeah,
with you.
that's a long time.
So like,
And you can't just leave either.
right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just like peel off.
I
a
gotta
whole
wrap it
3.
up. It's
Like what if you get there, he's made the tea time, and you're like, I just don't
Yeah.
like you right away.
This ain't it.
Yeah, so that's why I think it should be something short and easy.
He's got iron covers. And
Oh,
you're like, oh,
no,
it's got to be over.
Immediate no.
Yeah.
Ick. Absolutely. Iron covers, hard pass.
Oh, that's rough.
Hard
Yeah, why don't
pass.
people? I feel like some people don't like to do coffee dates because they can't pregame a coffee date. I mean, you can.
If you feel like you have to pregame every single date you're going on, maybe you shouldn't be dating.
Oh God,
Should probably take a long.
have you
look
ever
in the
been on a
mirror.
date sober though? Don't lie to me right now. A first date.
A first date?
Yeah. I mean, like
You have to think
Fully
about it.
sober?
gotta grease up the
Think
wheels. You
about
know.
it.
I don't go on a lot of dates. Probably not.
I don't know if I've ever been on a date.
I mean,
sober.
sober, but
like show up sober
Yeah.
and then drink on the date, or like sober the whole date.
I mean, like I've usually had like one or two before.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Typically,
Yeah.
I'll have a beer and then I'll meet them for. I like to do drinks as a first date.
Well, and
Sue me.
I love drinks as a first
He's
date.
been to
Yeah.
church on a couple first dates, but he'll
No,
be
that's
pregame
not
church.
true. That's
Yeah.
not true.
I mean, if you go to a Catholic church, you can just have wine in the middle of mass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Do other things there at the Catholic church. Too.
That.
Thank you to Caitlin again. How long? Yeah.
Nice, all right.
How long after exchanging numbers are you willing to wait for a guy to plan a date?
Max a week.
A week,
Unless
Yeah.
there's something like really big going on. Like, and if he explains it like, I just happen to be going out of town for like this other thing or something that has an explanation, then like I'll give it a little bit of extra time. But if it goes beyond a week, I just think the person's not really that interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only small talk so much. So yeah,
Right.
I feel like a week max is like at least have something in the books. Maybe it's
Right.
the following week.
And if
but
you haven't met yet, you can go without a little bit of conversation for a week, because it's like I don't need to text you every single day. I haven't met you
Yeah.
yet. But
yeah.
after a week, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Will you ever just go on a date? You know it's not going to go anywhere. Like you're really not that interested, but you're bored.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I get on dating apps just because I'm bored.
Yeah.
Because like every once in a while you're like, I just don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna hop on a dating app. But I think a lot of people are like that. And that's why people end up not meeting up.
Yeah, that's true. It's just the dopamine hit there. Well, give us your dream guy.
My dream guy.
Yeah, give me a little personality, complexion.
Okay, my dream guy. So I really would love to meet somebody who shares a similar taste in music. It doesn't have to overlap all the way. If he likes country, I can deal with it. But he also has to like some of my music too,
Because it's big to you.
it's
Yeah,
huge to
okay.
me. So I'm at Red Rocks, I'm at Mission, like, once a week, once every other week. So I want somebody that I can share that with because it means so much to me. And even if I look back on the last couple of years of my life, like music got me out of some really dark places, and I've enjoyed so much music with my friends that I want to be able to bring someone into that space with me.
What if he's deaf?
What if he's I don't know if I could do it, honestly.
He better just go and hang out.
I mean, maybe if he could just pick up on the vibes. He's like, she looks like she's having a good time, and I want to be here with her. Like, maybe I could do it.
Bad question. I feel like music. Some people can feel music, and some people don't. And like some people, it's like really big for them. Right. Get them out of hard times, so I can understand.
And I don't know if I could date somebody. And I've gone on first dates with people where I've automatically found that our music taste clashed. And I love someone that enjoys music, but when people talk about music, like, yeah, I like this, I play it on the way to work, and it's like, I feel music in my soul. Yeah. Like, this makes me feel so many emotions. I just don't know if I could date someone who doesn't feel that same way, because it's just a difference in how we feel emotions. Yeah. So I really want to share that with somebody, but I also know that I'm not going to have every single hobby overlap. So it'd be great if he also golfs, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So music, I think, is the big one. I love someone who's like, a little bit taller than me. I'm 5'7", probably, and I wear boots all the time, so I'm probably really walking around at 5'9" all the time. Okay. So someone who's like 5'10" or taller, ideally taller. I like dark hair, mustache, a good sticker tattoo sleeve. I really like. Kind of looks like maybe they would own like a camper van, and they've lived in a van before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why is that hot for some reason? Yeah.
Like not that is hot, but like it's just my type. Yeah. It's like, okay, I would believe maybe that.
Did a stint, in prison for,
I don't know that I wouldn't go that far, but like if they were like, yeah, I owned a van and I lived in a van and like traveled around the US for a year, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I believe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good. Decent sense of style. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. I can work with anything, but
okay. Kirkland brand.
Kirkland brand. Like a Kirkland brand Dom Dalla actually would be my type.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I also want to ask, like personality wise, or maybe, a little bit of humor, a little bit
humor is really nice, important. So I want somebody that I can like banter with. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be perfect 100% of the time, but someone I can make jokes with, someone who's not too serious, but also someone who's serious enough to have a career. So someone who like has some career goals, has an idea of what they want their life to look like. So somewhere in the middle between like, I don't take life too seriously and I don't think about anything, and like I have every single second of my future planned out.
God, there is a correlation, isn't there, of like people that don't have jobs that seem to be more funny, and then like people that are really like climbing the corporate ladder that aren't funny at all.
Right. And so it's like, I need someone somewhere in the middle, because
you can't have the best of both worlds. Sometimes you need to date the guy that's got no job. That's hilarious. So.
And I think that's who I've traditionally dated. And I've been pretty driven in my career, and my job and college.
It's not fun when they're not driven though.
And when it's fun until a point when you're like, oh, this can't go any further. And I've done that with a lot of guys that I've dated, where they've been fun and they've been what I really wanted. I was like, this is a great time. And then somewhere along the line, I'm like, this is only a great time.
Yeah, they're still in bed at noon,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, they're not going to bed till like 3. They're
right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And so like non-negotiables though.
Non-negotiables. Yeah. I think you got to have some idea of what you want to do with your life. Okay. You got to have some idea. We got to share some common interests, because I have enough interests. We got to have one that overlaps. It can be music. It can be golf. We got to have one. Let's see. Other non-negotiables, you have to be kind. Not just nice. You have to be kind to people. You have to care about other people.
Coming in from our boy JRB, what if your significant other has a close friend that is of the opposite sex?
That's fine.
That's fine. What if he doesn't let you meet her ever?
That's weird.
What if they occasionally sleep together?
Also weird.
Oh, okay.
Also weird. Gotta be some boundaries.
Yeah.
I really support, and I think, and this is what I was talking about earlier about how Sometimes we don't necessarily meet the other gender where they are. And I do think sometimes men aren't necessarily encouraged to have close friendships with other people. One of my closest friends is a guy, and the two of us have helped each other through so much. And I don't think I'd be the person I am without him in my life. And if someone came into my life and they were like, you couldn't be friends with this guy, I'd be like, you don't understand what he and I have both been through together. And that would be
It's a good
completely
argument for that. Yeah.
unacceptable. But him and I are such platonic friends. So for someone to come in and be like, well, he's clearly trying to get with you or something. And it's like, that's just not the case. It's just not our friendship. And even if we were attracted to each other, we have enough respect for the other person, that the person that I'm dating, to not act on that. So I don't think it's a deal breaker to have a close friend of the opposite sex. And I don't think it ever should be. And I think if somebody came into my life and they were like, you can't be friends with guys, I'd be like, this is just not a good fit. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to cut out my good friends.
I feel like the way to get around that too is like you introduce your girl into into the friend group, and then I think there's a period of like, hesitation, seeing who, how it goes and like how people interact, and if it's a little too friendly, not too friendly, but like if it's totally platonic, then I think it.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah. And we can all pick up on vibes. If you're there and you're like, this just doesn't feel right, then sure. Yeah, it could be a deal breaker.
She keeps kissing your neck, man.
Yeah, that's weird. Like maybe don't do that.
Yeah. I feel like I would have to meet them, and I wouldn't love them hanging out one-on-one. Like,
not maybe in a group though.
Yeah. If in a group, totally fine. If they're hanging out one-on-one a bunch, probably not okay with me.
Probably not a bunch.
Get them.
I feel like every once in a while is fine.
Fight back on his opinion.
So my close guy friend, he and I went to high school together. We didn't talk for a long time. We reconnected through music festivals, and like he is one of my closest friends. So when he graduated, I went out there to celebrate his graduation. And it was me, his roommate, and his parents. If someone's not, and I know that this is like my platonic friend, and if someone wasn't okay with that, like even if they're like, oh, that guy likes you, and it's like, okay, but do you not trust me enough to go do this?
Yeah, that is the big thing. Yeah.
And it's not like I'm doing this every weekend, but
devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Even though if I would trust my partner enough.
Do you trust the other person?
But do I trust? Yeah, but do I trust the other person? Do I know? Because I know, like, just saying, sometimes guys are dogs.
They can be.
They can be.
They just wait.
They just wait. Anyway.
Been there.
This guy's
I'm still
a monk over here. He's waiting.
No, that's not true.
Oh, okay. All right. You've had some past relationships. Let's touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
Past relationships.
Yes.
So. Okay. Good or bad?
Good at first, bad at the end. That's why we broke up.
Always bad at the end?
Yeah.
Always bad.
Always bad.
Well, for what? Were they similar issues, different issues each
I actually
time?
think they were very similar issues. So I dated, I've been in like probably 3 serious-ish relationships, 2 that were more serious, one that was like getting there and just didn't quite get there, but it was like more serious. We'd been dating for like 6 months. And all of them were kind of what I was talking about earlier, like very fun, very much what I wanted, just not very driven.
They were hanging out with their girl best friend.
They were. I mean, one of them had a girl best friend, but like that wasn't the issue.
Okay.
But they were kind of the mindset that everything was fine all the time. And so when I was trying to really work at things, like when I took my CPA exam to get my CPA license, and it was very hard, and I was studying, and it's pretty much all I did for 4 months. And he was like, I just don't know why you're working so hard at this. And it was like, this is like what I want to do. Yeah. Like it just takes a lot of studying. And I always took things, I'm not the person that takes everything too seriously. At least I don't think so. But I think it was too serious for them. They just didn't understand why I did the things that I did. So at the end, it always became arguments of how we were spending our time. Like, I'm trying to do this with my life, and you're not thinking about it at all.
It's hard to get somebody to get like motivation and have that drive. Like, you almost can't do it.
Right.
It's not.
And it's just a change in personality. It's just a difference in personality. And I don't think any of these guys were bad guys. I think they treated me really well. I think they were very nice. I think they were very kind. That's why I liked them. That's why I loved them. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we didn't align on those values of how we wanted to live out our futures. And that's tough.
Let me ask you this. Does it like make you less attracted to them over time when you can see that they're not being as driven?
I think it does, but I also think maybe, and this is my own problem that I probably have to work through. Once I'm in, and I want to like help them and I want to get them there. And I go off what they tell me. So they're like, well, I want to get this job. And I'm like, okay, here are the 3 things you have to do it. And then when they don't do the first thing, I get frustrated because I'm like, this is what you said you wanted. Yeah. So I'm the planner type where I want to plan things out and they just weren't. And I think that's where then the clash comes in where they're like, this is what I want. I'm like, okay, well, here's your plan to get there. And then they wouldn't follow it and we would have arguments over that.
Yeah.
So at the end, it always was a clash of just personalities. And I don't think any of them were bad guys. I just think at the end of the day, we probably brought out the worst in each other.
Okay. So what did you, I guess, any takeaways for your next relationship?
Any takeaways? It's actually like, it is a deal breaker when I start meeting guys. I'm like, what is your career goal? Like, what's your goals with life? Like, I need to meet someone with a plan. It doesn't have to be a 10-year plan. It doesn't even really have to be like a 5-year, but as long as you have some idea of what you want to do with your life and you have some drive and you have some ambition, I really need to see that, because otherwise we just are not going to align on anything.
Okay. Anything in the hopper right now?
No.
Yeah, no?
The bench is empty.
Oh, shit.
It's pretty bad.
Please, people, reach out. Hopefully we can get big enough to where people can,
It's empty. I've tried to put myself out there a few times, and I don't like rejection either. Guys don't like rejection. I don't like rejection. It's not fun. No one likes rejection. I think we forget that, is that no one likes rejection. So I've been trying to reach out to like different people, and I've DM'd a few people and they've been like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, that's okay. Like,
damn.
Next
Do
one,
you
maybe.
think, should girls be like pursuing men? Do you think?
I don't think so, but I also think at the same time, like, you have to put yourself out there. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard when you meet someone, or maybe you see someone like, I've tried to meet people through TikTok before, and I've met people from TikTok, and I've been like, maybe this person will be fun to talk to. And so I've like followed them and they follow me back. And then if I do it first, I'm kind of like, okay, it's on me to reach out. But at the same time, like, I do still think it's kind of the guy's job to pursue people that they're interested in.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think it's their job. But at the same time, if a guy doesn't know that I'm interested in them, why would they talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
So
God,
goes both ways.
That's true.
Sounds rough. Any more from the gallery? Or
no, we got 500 loyal viewers.
No
questions.
No, we did not. Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being on. We have one last question.
Okay.
Kirsten, why are you a catch?
Why am I a catch? I think I'm really fun. I think there's going to be some people that think I'm too much. I have a lot of stuff going on. I work a lot. I have a lot of hobbies. I don't actually have a lot of spare time, but I make time for the people that I care about. And I think if someone dated me, I don't think they'd ever be bored.
Oh.
I think they'd always have a good time. But I think I keep things interesting. I think I'm a good mix of driven and funny and smart, and I think I can be cute when I try, on a good day.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah,
What can you think?
I think I'm a catch. Yeah. So I think I keep things fun and I keep things interesting, but I think I'm a good mix of like trying to keep things light and casual and fun, and at the same time, like also serious and forward thinking and like goal oriented. I think I'm a good mix of the two. I like to think so on my best days.
I like it. Hey, any goal-oriented, driven men out there that with mustaches, and if your name is Dom Dollar, reach out.
Yeah, Dom Dollar. I hear he's
you're going to be in Denver next week. So
John Summit also.
Yeah,
DMs are also open.
Absolutely, and well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great time. Yay.